search of the 3 missing Montgomery College students continues in Frederick County.
And I got to play with your wand. It was great.
Definitely fun.
Oh, keep going. we are alive, so we're winning.
Yes,
Good.
period.
When I last spoke to you, I wasn't sure if you would be by this time. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
when you yelled at us?
You yelled. Yeah, let me tell y'all. Last night we had a great old time, so we wanted to call our friend Evan here, and he was mad at us. I didn't realize it was 4 a.m. when we called him. But, yeah, he was like, why the fuck are you calling me? I'm asleep. I'm like, oh my God, Evan. He is, what is the word when you sleep on the wrong side of the bed? Well, we woke him up. That's our fault. Oh, well. But anyways, welcome to Footage Foreplay. My name is Terrell. You guys already know Evan, and that's Russell down there. Say hi, everybody.
Hi. Nice to meet you all.
Yes, I'm so excited to talk to you guys today about the movie Sour Party. But first, let's tell us about you guys. So, yeah, tell me about you guys. You guys start.
Oh man, I mean, well, should we say this news?
I think we should. Let's bring it. We've been
yeah.
waiting.
they've got some exciting news, yeah, for context that they're excited to unveil. I told them to wait until we were recording. So
we just found out early this morning that Sour Party is the recipient of the Roman Coppola and Steven Soderbergh Andrews Bernard Award from Decentralized Pictures, and they announced us at Cannes Film Festival.
Damn.
And say Steven Soderbergh presents Sour Party.
Well, that's not.
Oh wow!
That was on the thing. But yeah.
And yeah, it's gonna be. We already have distribution through Anchor Bay, but they're gonna work together, and it's gonna get us to a whole new level of.
Hell yeah!
Oh damn, that's huge!
Congratulations!
Congratulations, Joe.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah. I mean, it just happened.
Literally, you asked us, tell us about you, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, oh really? Like, just throw it up, girl. Like I just did a few moments ago. But yeah, but yeah, that's super exciting. How do y'all feel? Y'all still in the After Effects? I'm sure. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't
Totally. I mean, it's so sudden and it was so unexpected. I think that we were all so grateful that we had distribution anyway, and we're just how rare that is in the industry at this moment. And so just this on top of that is kind of like, whoa, what really? I think I read the message Michael sent me this morning, maybe 25 or 30 times. I was like, is this spam? What? Is this real? What's happening?
Yeah, we were hallucinating ourselves.
We had to be up at 5 a.m. to do a live feed on stage with Roman Coppola, and it was just
it's
wild.
so exciting.
I just love that at Cannes they talked about a film where our lead is pissing in a big gulp. We have magical Cannes Film Festival. Broke the news.
That's fucking awesome. And you guys that's a good piggyback off that. You just won a competition, didn't you, with a horror movie, or you were in a competition at least that I voted for.
Yeah,
horror movie in.
That one did not win, but this one won.
Good job, Evan.
It's the same side.
I didn't know. I thought you won, dude. You should have won because your movie idea sounded tight. Are you still planning on doing that?
Oh,
I mean, yeah, that's
Rex. Rex is the next up.
Give some context to these two for that, because I don't think they know.
Well, we
Rex is.
We can't just be giving our log lines away.
Party. Let's take this Sour Party.
Okay.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Let's talk about
that was something else. That was small potatoes, and this is
okay.
So, how would you describe Sour Party? Genre wise.
It's a stoner comedy. It's a buddy comedy told with 90s throwback with women.
And what about that do you think got it selected by a Coppola and announced at Cannes? I'm so interested. Just the moment we're in with film. What did you guys capture that they saw in it?
I think Steven Soderbergh was reminded of a time that he was struggling. I think he was reminded about why he loves to make movies.
Yeah, I think it's Sour Party is a ridiculous comedy, but there's a lot of heart to it, and it really speaks to anyone who's chasing their dreams or going through it. And
anyone who has failed is going to relate to Sour Party.
And I think it has spoken particularly well to people in the industry, whether at any level of success, they either remember a time when they were trying to do it or, they are trying to do it. And it gives people hope that you can do something, you can make something small with your friends and you can make it happen. So
people feel very seen by it. And I think people feel not alone. I think it's very easy to feel alone in this industry. and we're all going through it. And that's what I think it tells people. And but for Soderbergh specific, I think it reminded him of why he loves making movies, and because he's the king of independent.
For sure.
Film often like it's wild, and he actually premiered it at Cannes, his first independent film that was like fully financed by himself. And so I think he just kind of saw himself.
Well, independent, when he was making an independent movie.
May I add something to that?
Sam.
Yeah.
I also think that there's something really like wildly refreshing about Sour Party, and it's different from whatever else is out there right now. And
absolutely,
you know, when we're talking about like the genre and all of that, there's something just so like beautifully absurd about the whole thing, but then also really grounded in reality as well. I mean, life is absurd. Everything is insane. And we somehow managed to capture that. And hopefully there was something refreshing about that to him too.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking a lot about it, and now there's something that y'all managed to do that is like a true throwback. And I think mentioning that he had his first independent film play there, I can only think about how different independent film then and now. Like if somebody came to you and said, "Hey, I have a movie I self-funded." What you imagine is something that is on Tubi or Amazon Prime, and like, you know what I mean? Like it's just a very different thing. You can even film it on your phone. Yet I think you guys managed to make a true throwback independent film where it feels like you had a couple $1 million. Like the whole time, I'm sorry, we've probably been doing this show too long and talking about film, but I kept thinking, how the fuck did you get perfect lighting in every setup? Like because you made a road movie in one location, which is already ambitious, but then you have all these different locations and people and everything, whether it's outdoor, indoor, car interior, everything looks like it's just like you had a huge crew. Which how big of a crew did you have?
Definitely not huge. Not big. We had a rotating crew of whoever was available at the time. Probably I would say at most on set was like 15 people.
But that was for like our big days. Yeah. I would say on average, like 7?
Yeah, like gaffer, grip,
first
AC,
and
it
was rotating, but our core people was the cinematographer, Stephen Morano, and you want to ask why we had great lighting? Stephen Morano.
Yeah, he was really came through and brought so much and did so many favors.
And then our gaffer. Our gaffer, Zach, was there every day, grinded with us. And then also Lauren Argo, our production designer, was there every day, grind with us.
Yeah. The reason
her energy is infectious. When we were at Chattanooga, she had that whole fucking room hyped up, Lauren.
Yeah, and she's the reason why it looks and feels as special as it is. It's all Lauren Argo. Yeah. She put her stamp on it. It's as weird as it is because of Lauren. It's amazing. She's amazing.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because I think people listening, when they hear like, "Oh, it's a weird movie," like now we're in this moment where you have to like really make. I'm trying to think of a non-complimentary way to say it. Like you kind of have to break through all the shouting on the internet, and that doesn't necessarily mean you're doing something worthwhile. You're just doing something that's going to agitate people or is so absurd that people will talk about it. Yet you all kind of made this like, I want to say like humble throwback where it's like you're not doing anything outlandish. It's just kind of like a movie that you would have caught on like the IFC, like back in the day when it was good, and just sat there and been like, oh, why did they program this? Or, you know, we all do film festival. We run a film fest, and your movie feels like one of those film festival darlings that would never make it to like a general audience because they need something to like chomp onto.
It'll make it.
It will. Yeah.
Make it.
Yeah.
No, and
but it doesn't feel like the kind of movie that you can sit on your phone during, you know,
because it pulls you in. Yeah.
And you know, it's funny because like you called it a slacker comedy, and I have that in my description, but I also put in front of that neo fantasy. Because it feels like you have two really grounded characters in like a Grand Theft Auto world, you know, where there's like fucking caricatures of human beings that they interact with along the way. And it's like a, you know, dialed up to 11 satire of like the culture, especially the LA culture, you know, which I think that's probably where I got the GTA thing from. too. I would have imagined because
Yeah, that's
the
a
Los
great.
Santos, you know.
I mean, we wanted to do something that was kind of just like how we were all feeling in LA at the time, which was kind of like post-COVID, everybody's leaving. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on with the industry. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on with anything. You know, the streets just, you know, felt like they'd lost a little bit of their sparkle. And we wanted to capture that and make this like super heightened world where, you know, everything was like trash people everywhere. You know, that was like the vibe. And I think it shows through, but yeah, keeping the two leads grounded was important to have this like, you know, outrageous world around them and them just kind of having to deal with it.
So speaking of the leads, y'all have to be friends in real life, right?
Yes.
Yes.
How long have you known each other?
Not for very long.
Not as long as
I'm
you
talking like
think.
before this film. Obviously, we have been through the ringer with the film festival.
5 years. When was the bachelorette party?
Oh, okay.
Years?
Yeah, we like we
that was before COVID.
So
right?
2019, maybe 2018.
Yeah,
We've
definitely been in each other's orbits for like at least a decade, because that's just how LA is. But we didn't really become friends and start hanging out until like 2021, I think.
Yeah, and we pitched Sammy an idea to do a short film with us, and that's when we really started spending a lot more time together. And then we met up in New York, and you know, we just went from there. But yeah, it wasn't like a crazy history with us beforehand. No. It was a recent friendship that's now.
You guys feel like at least decade-long friends or more. You know, it feels that way when you're, especially in the movie. You know, and I'm sure you dialed it up. I'm sure that was partially because of your performances, but you definitely feel like longtime friends.
I think too, when you're like writing something that you're also acting in, I know I've said this in interviews before, like it's such a gift as an actor to have insight into the character's development as it's coming to life on the page. And so I think just like by virtue of doing all of that together, the friendship between Gwen and James was really like forged in the fires of just like our creative process all together, you know. And I mean, we were so like ragtag, just like getting everything done in collaboration, from the writing, you know, all the way down to just like different production things, because there weren't a lot of hands, so we all had to handle different things. And there's something that kind of goes from like maybe surface level friendship to just like immediate depth when you're thrown into some shit like that, you know. And you just have to kind of like, I think too, just given their directing style, you know, like I felt so much freedom on set that it just felt a closeness because of that too.
So you guys all co-wrote this together?
The story.
Yes.
The story.
Yeah,
okay.
We had a crazy, like, devastating failure of a project in New York, and Sammy was in New York when that happened, so she was witness to it.
Yes, and so then we came back from New York completely defeated. Sammy was still over there. She hadn't come back yet. And we had this other short that we had written for Sammy and I, and Michael was like, I can't do a short. I cannot. I have to do a feature. And I was like, okay, well, maybe we'll put that as the cold open. It's called Succulent Thieves. And we'll put it around these characters that we created. And so we reached out to Stephen Moreno because he had a rental house. And I was like, will you shoot this for free? Give us all your equipment for free. We are doing a fucking feature if it fucking kills us. And he said, sure, yeah, I'm itching to do a feature. Sammy came back. We pitched her. We're like, would you rather do a feature instead of a short? And then we all kind of like made a list of things that we had at our disposal, actors we wanted to use, locations, and we kind of just crafted the story like that. And then Michael and I would write. We would send Sammy drafts. She'd have great notes. We would just kind of like, it all. And I think that's why it also happened so fast.
Okay.
So we all mind our experiences. Like everything in the film is sort of loosely autobiographical.
The three of
based
us.
on something.
That's what I was wondering. That's my next question. I wanted to know, Samantha and Amanda, how much of those characters are you guys? Like how, because you guys seem very nice and prim and proper here, but y'all were going in on this movie. So I want to know, how close are y'all to these characters, and what characteristics of these characters maybe that you guys, are like that in everyday life?
When we were writing, I kept being like, guys, like, everyone's going to hate me. I'm so mean. Oh, shit, like, and that's kind of, it's challenging to come to terms with, in the sense that you're like, oh yeah, but I contain this in myself, so like, it's not a stretch in the sense that I'm playing someone who's like that far off. I'm just like letting myself access my super fucking cunty side.
Yes. Love it. Love it. Period. Okay,
but originally,
Sam?
The characters, so in the short that we did, it's similar characters, but they're actually swapped. So Amanda plays the more like driven one, who's like the ideas person, and I'm kind of the one that's like, yes, like I'm down for this and along for this ride. And I don't know what made them decide to switch the roles, but I'm so glad, because it was important for me, I think, to like be able to look at that part of myself and like hug her and like shake hands with her and be like, yes, you're part of me. Like, let us merge.
There you go.
Hell yeah. Well, I don't think there's any denying that you're driven, because you're not only doing the movies and stuff, you're also in a band. We should plug that. You guys.
Oh, you're a band? Oh, what's a band called?
Well, I'm presently playing with a band called Siggy Bop here in New York. They're surf punk band. I also play with this band Bell and Chain. They're mostly based in LA, but I'm their East Coast bass player. And then I also play for this band, the Wonderlicks, and I'm gonna be filling in for another band here soon too. So I did not anticipate playing so much music, honestly, when I moved out here, but I guess being a bass player is kind of a hot commodity, so I just filled in where
Hell
I can.
yeah.
You're booked and busy. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
Maybe you'll end up being the lead bass player. Maybe you'll be a Geddy Lee at some point.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, Geddy Lee's on another level. I would never even aspire to be anywhere near that. But I've also been studying acting here at the William Asper Studio, so that's kind of what brought me to move here officially, was to do that. So it's been just like such a highly creative year, and with all of this unfolding as well, and like now this new exciting news, it's just like all very surreal. I'm definitely going to take a long walk in the park after this and just kind of let
it all soak in.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm on the earth.
And don't leave out that she has a ton of music in Sour Party.
Her music is
She
the
has
voice of Sour Party.
3 songs.
Yeah.
Open for one of her songs, and then she also was the music supervisor on Sour Party. So most of the music you hear are bands that she found for us, friends of hers, and that generously allowed us to use their music for.
Yes.
Every time I watch it, I listen to Stock Image at least 3 or 4 times after the movie.
It's so good.
So good.
That was the one song.
They found that one.
Yeah, we had heard that song. We saw her perform. We saw Mia perform live years ago.
And we love that album so much. And yeah, we had to put it in. It was perfect.
It is perfect, yeah.
So you mentioned this being like a post-COVID movie. And I keep thinking of it now as like a post-COVID urban fantasy. And since I watched it, I don't know if I've ever even heard like the mention of people leaving LA, or like you had so many topics in this movie that I've never heard brought up in a movie. Almost like people don't want to acknowledge it or like put it out there. And it was so refreshing, like hearing that. Did that come from like frustration? Like, are y'all considering leaving LA? I know now it might be a little bit different.
Well, Sammy left.
Yeah.
She's like, bye, y'all.
Yep.
Not for Austin. She went to New York.
New York and LA. Interchangeable. No, I think it's just something we were all feeling. Like,
and I mean, now we're feeling it again. We're going through another resurgence after the fires of, believe it, we know 3 people who left. And yeah, it's crazy how we're back here again.
Yeah, it's something we wanted to draw attention to, in a subtle way. I don't think it's like what the movie's about, but there's jokes about it. But it's just the idea that, you know, how hard it is to try to do this.
Exactly.
And after a certain amount of years, you know, you see the people around you, some of them like don't make it. It's like soldiers on a battlefield, you know,
Yeah.
some of them fall, there's fallen soldiers all over the place, and then people retreat. And it's the ones that stick it out that really, you know, make this town special and make it what it is. And so part of Sour Party is this love letter to Los Angeles, and like talking about how everyone's leaving is like, you know, just something that we thought was, you know, kind of cute and of the moment. And we wanted to just put a light on that. Like, don't leave, stay. There's some things to do. But New York's cool. Like, well, New York's fun. Whatever,
I
you know.
guess.
It's not Austin, so you're good. No shade on Austin either. But I bet Austin doesn't like all the Angelinos that are hitting it up either.
No,
So-
I'm certain that they
I'm
don't.
scared of New York. Does New York have giant rats? Do you see rats, Sam?
I do see rats, but they're not
I'm
giant.
terrified. You scared of rats?
They're so cute.
No, they're
Cute. Why did you say cute?
I see him on the train, and I'm like, oh, I wonder where you're going. I wonder
Are you
what your mouth is
serious?
going.
Okay, Snow White, I cannot with you.
Actually, the other night I was walking home, and there was a raccoon in a trash can, and it like dove down in
hell
there,
yeah.
and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And then
No,
I
you
started
didn't.
recording.
Evan did that. He got bit. Don't do that.
I started recording, and I was like, will you please come out? I want to prove to everyone that I saw you. And then like poked its head out, and I was like, thank you. And then it started to go, and I was like, wait, you're fine, don't go. And it stopped, and it looked at me, and then it went back and crawled back up in the trash can. And I was like, have a good night. And I guess she did.
Wow, the sounds like the raccoons in New York City are much better mannered than the ones in Mississippi.
It was hungry. It was trying to find garbage for food.
Yeah,
I wasn't
there was
trying to
one-
shame her, put her on blast. I just thought she was cute.
I tried to feed one in my yard one time some dog food, and he bit me, and I had to get rabies shots. So.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
see, he's weird. He be feeding random rodents. I just want to know, because I know they're known for their big rats. I always wanted to go there. I want to try their pizza, but I don't want a rat to pop out at me. I'm gonna have a heart attack.
It won't. It won't. Yeah, you'll be fine.
Toss it a
I mean,
slice.
if it did, it might be like, yo, can I get a slice too? But
Yeah.
Just share. I had to get rabies shots too once. I got this like
Oh, what?
Goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
squirrel
Well,
attacked me.
I
and
was
got-
attacked.
You were
If it-
attacked by a squirrel too. Oh my god.
You were attacked by
Okay.
a squirrel?
that's
Who
what I'm
said
saying.
that?
Squirrels are fucked. That's
I
why,
think
if it makes you feel any
Evan
better,
eats
I've
squirrels. He
I've
eats
spent
them.
years eradicating the squirrel population here. To
He's so
eat,
gross.
so-
Let me ask them a question. Would you guys eat a squirrel?
No, I couldn't.
Thank you. Nasty shit, right? Evan, he likes to fry them up with some butter and he eats them. Ain't that weird?
That's very country.
Yeah.
I spent a little time
What's
in
this
the
podcast
country,
again?
and I had a
Oh,
stepbrother
yeah.
who would like shoot squirrels with his BB gun and then like skin them and put them in our freezer.
Oh.
So like
Hell
I never
yeah.
ate one, but I definitely
Ew.
know.
That's tight.
Yeah.
You're the
I'm
first
privy to
person
the-
on the show who's
Yeah.
been familiar with the process, so that's tight. Yeah, hell yeah.
Here in LA, we view our animals as like magical beings.
Yeah.
So we are very gentle with them. I saw a squirrel and it was so cute, and it came up to my
Oh, that's so
leg and was
sweet.
kind of like
Aw.
gnawing at my jeans, like not gnawing, like touching my jeans. And I was like, oh my god, a little squirrel, I love
Wait,
you.
what did it do? You got
Was it-
humped by a squirrel? It screw up your leg? What
This
did you
was
say?
like pulling on my pants. It was like pulling on my
it was
jeans,
cute.
and I thought it
I
was
thought you said it was humping your pants, Mike.
Oh,
Okay.
like doing this.
Got it. Oh, that's cute.
I bent down. I was like, "Oh, hey, buddy," and I put my finger out, and it went. And I
Oh.
flew up in the air, and I was flinging the squirrel around like, "Oh
Oh my god.
my god, oh my god!" And I like threw it, and it like landed, and went like, "Meow," and like screwed away.
That's like the Looney Tunes or something. Oh my god. You should add that to the movie.
We didn't have the budget for a
I'm
squirrel.
playing.
We'll save that for the sequel.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what all the reviews would have been about the CGI squirrel.
Yeah.
You did yourself a favor.
Oh yeah, Letterboxd would have lit that up, y'all.
Rob probably could have brought one from her freezer. And could have made it
Yeah, there we go.
You guys are fun.
Oh my god.
How,
Me too.
I'm having a blast.
I told y'all before this podcast, I'm like, they were the life of the party at the festival. So this
Oh,
is gonna be fun
good. I can see it. The vibes is there.
Yeah.
Period.
for sure. I just wanted to ask too. I didn't put two and two together, and maybe you said this at Chattanooga. Maybe you've said it before, but Amanda and Michael, you guys. I didn't realize until I was reading an article about your short film. We can't go.
We can't
go on. Yeah, we can't go on. And they mention you as Amanda Dreschler and Michael Livingston. Did you guys combine your last names?
Yeah, we did. So we actually got married during the production of Sour Party.
Oh, wow.
Then we went to Vegas with like the whole cast and crew. Sammy was there, and we all had to like caravan back and do like drive-through COVID tests. It was really stupid.
It was dumb.
Oh.
But yeah,
one person got COVID and the whole thing gets shut down. Like,
but we just felt weird about like taking one another's name. I was like, I don't want you to force you to be a Livingston.
And I absolutely love my initials. So I was like, I'm not changing it. So then we were like, oh, we want to have a child. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. Well, why don't we just combine? I keep my initials. And we went to Social Security, and we are the only Drextons to ever go through Social Security.
There's no one with the last name
Which
Drexton
is wild.
that has ever lived.
That is wild.
Before like 1800 something.
Yeah.
Also, I need to say that We Can't Go On is the first film of Michael and Amanda's that I saw, and I was just like completely blown away by it. Every aspect of it, I think it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Just like all of it. And I remember watching that and being like, God, I like really, at the time I was like not acting at all, but I remember watching that and having this feeling like I really want to work with them one day. And so like when it all came about and came around, it's like, I don't know, sometimes you just like put something out in the universe and like,
and it comes full
You
circle.
manifested that shit.
Oh, thank you, Sammy. That means so much. That was a brutal film to make. That was.
I know.
Fights on that fucking set.
We made that.
I bookmarked it. I didn't have time to watch it yet, but
check it out. I mean, I hope it holds up. We made that short in COVID
with just us, as in we were the whole crew and in it.
It was full lockdown. So we got sponsored by Canon, and they mailed us a bunch of gear, and we got like giant cameras and stuff, and like all this film equipment.
And then we did have a DP, Dan Neese, and he was like, it was like Futurama. He was just on our laptop.
He was
and
on
we
Zoom.
would like show it, and then he'd be like, "Oh, that lighting is not great," or this. It was, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And it was wild. What we thought was only going to be a 5-day shoot ended up being 30 days.
Whoa!
Wow.
I mean, it was really just we would have to set up the camera on a tripod.
It was just too much equipment. We'd have
to measure. I mean, it was crazy. Focus. We decided to also shoot everything wide open, so that made it like anytime we
everything was out of focus, so we'd have to like reshoot it. And Canon was so nice to like let us keep the equipment for
Shout out Canon.
You know,
that's tight.
So back to our last names, we changed it to Drexton, and the rest is history. So for the first,
we're like, get out of here, past. We're just moving forward.
I love it. How long have you been together? Y'all cute.
We've been together now for we've been together for almost 9 years, right?
That's a long time.
9 years. But I've known him for 16.
And then married for 3, right when we started shooting. So we
2.5. Yeah. 2.5.
2.5. 3. No.
The couple fight.
Oh my God, we did.
It's 3. You believe this?
Oh shit!
Who was right?
I love how we just all immediately trusted Amanda. We were like,
I did. I trusted the girl. She got it right. He didn't know what he was talking about. He got humped by squirrels. But so he was right. Oh wow.
He was right.
3.5 years. Yes.
Love it.
Time doesn't exist. I don't believe in it.
Time is fucked up. Wait till you have a kid.
Period.
If you decide to. I know you said that was up in the air, but if you decide to have a kid, that's the most insane measurement of time. Like it makes you feel like, what the fuck is time? You know?
Yeah, I'm sure. I can only imagine. It was hard enough having a German Shepherd. So we'll see.
What happened to the German Shepherd?
He's here.
He's here.
Oh, okay.
He's sleeping. Yeah, he may pop in.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hell
What's
yeah.
his name?
Cowboy.
Oh, love it.
Cowboy. Okay.
Nice. Okay.
He's a sweetie.
Yeah, I thought the name thing was rad when I was reading that article because I was just like, I'd only ever known you as the Drexton. So when I read that, I'm like, I have to ask him about that because I just kind of like analyzed your name and I'm like, oh, it feels like they put the two together.
Why?
Yeah. Michael Livingston doesn't exist anymore. He's dead to me.
But I will say when he said that, when he was like, what if we combined our names? I was like, like Father of the Bride.
Oh shit!
That's a throwback.
So strong.
Well, you talked about a lot of this being based on like being autobiographical.
Yes.
There's a few things I want to ask about, specific things in Sour Party. So let's start with and I will try to bring it up in a contextless way here so we don't spoil anything in the movie, but there's a stolen art story in the movie. Where did that come from? Because when I rewatched it this time, that scene in particular was like, I don't know, it stuck with me.
It feels
time.
real.
And yeah, I was like, oh fuck, just feels so real. And I think I was just so caught up in the comedy the first couple times I watched it that moment didn't like hit me like it did this time, But where did that come from?
Cool to hear. That is based on somebody that I worked for in LA for a time. It was an assistant gig, and I won't get into like all the details. I mean, we obviously embellished for, the sake of like art.
For sure.
No, but yeah, I think this whole film is, a sort of like commentary on the different kinds of people that you meet, and like it's for real. It's not like most of it isn't invented except maybe for like one person, and so like
He's real.
She's real.
She lives in my heart.
Yeah. I guess I need to get back on Creep Peeps or something, and maybe I'll find it. But no,
one of my bullet points was just dick hard, because I'm like, what the fuck? That's one of the things I think that made me think of GTA 2. I'm like, this is such a Grand Theft Auto ass sound effect. Dick hard.
Yeah, that's my voice actually. I'm the voice of Creep Peeps.
Okay. Sorry, Sammy. I interrupted a very serious story.
Yeah, he's good at that. He likes to cut people off. He does that all the time. Y'all learning.
I had an experience working with someone who, as it turned out, was notorious in the art world for having reproduced works by artists in various galleries without compensating them. And he also had me do some photoshopping of some PDFs, some contracts and things like that. Not for artists. It had to do with this like parking lot that he was trying to rent out. I don't know. The whole thing was very weird. I stopped working for him as soon as I could find like another job. Yeah. But listen, everyone, a quick Google search will help you see who you're about to work for. And if only I had done that. Well, if I had done that, we wouldn't have had this glorious scene in this film.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe did not.
Hey, shit happens for a reason.
He did not con an artist into like losing his entire life. Like that didn't happen.
Needs to be
Just
said.
for the record.
No. Right. Yeah.
Yes, that did not happen. We had to raise the stakes,
Yeah, for sure. Another thing. There's a point in the movie where you put in a lucid dreaming tape, and have any of you guys ever like fucked with that or like try? Because I've always been fascinated by the concept, and I've tried it a whole bunch of times, and I think I can't do it. So
I've never been able to.
Remember we got that tea and we tried to.
We got like a lucid dreaming tonic once, and we like tried to.
Years and years. I don't even think we were together at that point.
Yeah, I've yet to have a lucid dream, but it's a goal. I mean, we're into all that new age stuff, but that in particular, that voice on that is Alan Watts, who's a famous philosopher.
My sister has been trying to get this in all of our projects, in so many other scripts, and it landed here, and I think it was perfect.
Yeah.
It is.
You got your.
It's a famous speech. I forget the title of it, but this philosopher Alan Watts, you should look him up. He's wild. He was like a Zen Buddhist in the 70s who came up with all this nutso psychedelic philosophy about the nature of consciousness and stuff. So, it's a deep cut. A lot of Angelinos are big fans of him. So we wanted to incorporate that, and we were grateful enough to get the rights to use that, and it's one of my favorite moments.
It's the perfect companion to Piston in a Big Gulp, It really is.
That's the position.
There's a guy
moment,
I when I lived in Florida, I worked on an exotic bird farm. And I ran one for my uncle for.
And we got exotic birds.
And
know,
so
thing.
there was a guy that we like did some business with named John Coleman. He's dead now. He died in a plane crash like a few years ago.
What the fuck?
But he had like a private Cessna that he flew, and it was a real mysterious circumstances. He crashed, and it's a separate story. But we used to go over to his bird. He did a birds as well, and he had a big bird farm, and like we both had like thousands of these things, you know, and we would like raise the babies and then wholesale them to like distributors, and they'd end up in like pet stores and stuff. But this guy, he was like an old school hippie kind of dude. He was like an ex-Vietnam vet who like when he came back got into like you know, like what's the word, like traditional medicine, I guess, like natural medicine and stuff, you know, and he was way into like like herbalism and stuff. And he was always telling me about like supplements and stuff that he took and like what they did. And so one day we got on the topic of lucid dreaming, and he's like, yeah, I do it almost every night. I go and see my girlfriends in Cambodia and stuff, and like I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, I go to their room and they'll call me the next day and they'll say, John, you were here last night, weren't you? And he's like, yeah, I was. And I'm like,
what in the
fuck?
world was he on?
And he didn't. That's the crazy thing, is this dude didn't like smoke weed, or he took supplements and worked out and did the bird. Like he was a fucking health nut. Like, so he wasn't on like drugs. This was all like natural shit that but
So
ever since then, I've wanted to do it, and I've tried. He told me how he did it, and I can't.
So he teleported? I'm confused.
He would. So the idea, is like his soul or whatever would leave his body, like and go anywhere. You'd astral project.
There you go. He astral projectionized himself. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you guys listened to the telepathy tapes?
Yep. I was about to name drop it. Yep.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
It's
Shit.
how do you feel
Very
about it?
similar to what you're talking about.
I know this is a weird tangent for a select group of people who have listened to this podcast.
I know.
But am I the only one who immediately was like, okay, it's real? And like episode 1, halfway through. Yeah.
Immediately.
No.
Yep. So he probably did go over there and talk to them. I totally believe that.
Yeah.
I believe in all that stuff.
Yeah.
I actively use telepathy. I've never astral projected or tried to lucid dream, but I meditate multiple times every day. And I definitely have a lot of moments where I like think about someone and then they message me, or like, you know, just like things like that happen. And I think there's just so much we don't see, and there's so many ways in which everything is connected that we have a tendency to like really divorce ourselves from in the confines of the society that we live in. Yeah. We don't have to get into all that, but you know, there's just more to it. There's just more to it.
Everything's not black and white. You know?
We meet on the hill.
We meet on the hill, exactly. No, we actually had a pet psychic come over to try and talk to Squiddy, or one of our cats, and we didn't hire this person. Another person hired it for him.
Well, when we adopted Squid, the cat from this woman, she was like, I'd feel better if you let my psychic come over and reassure me that this is the right home.
This is the right home. But she came over and the cats were like completely hid it. And she's like, I talked to them last night. I don't know why they're hiding. I'm like, might be why they're hiding.
Dude, I was visiting with them all last night. I was visiting
with them all last night.
Like, these cats are freaked the fuck out by you.
Wow.
I was sitting on the floor with a copper hoop around me, like for a half an hour, while she had us primarily like try to remove leash trauma from
Squid. So we like, it was.
This is why we wrote Sour Party.
Yeah,
that's badass. Somebody, I don't think they have businesses that do that in Mississippi. I don't think you can get that here.
I probably still down there, honestly.
Yeah, I think so. Holy shit, that's crazy. And so did you learn anything about Squiddy through this process?
Nothing.
No, it was not.
This woman was like going under our furniture and trying to like pull the cats out, and it was not working. They'd go from like bed to couch. So
I do believe in animal telepathy, and I do believe in pet psychics, but she ain't it. She was not.
Okay, fair enough.
No, dude, Evan, like you got to check it out. In the telepathy tapes, they bring up the story about a parrot.
Yes, the parrot.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. What the fuck?
Parrots, dude, they're crazy smart animals too. Like just the amount of communication they would have. Like so remember in Up in Smoke, Tommy Chong says to that one bird, he's like, "You want to get high?" To the bird. Well, I taught like several birds that we had to say that. And,
Oh
like,
my
it's
God.
crazy how quick you can teach them to say shit and like how interactive they are with you versus like other. I don't know. It's just like they're interested in you, like you're interested in them.
Smart.
So it was a fascinating thing to work with them for. I got to listen to this if they talk to a bird with telepathy. That's fucking tight.
If you do something mean to a crow, they'll fucking remember you, and they will hunt you down, and they will recognize you, and they will fuck you up. So they're smart.
Damn.
Chimpanzee level intelligence, if not greater than. It's like chimps, crows, and octopus. Those are like, they're better than us.
Well, the good thing is I think we could probably all take a crow, Like, I don't
I don't know,
crow.
dude.
All of them once they put so much.
Yeah. Have you seen this little movie called The Birds?
Yeah, but there's fucking thousands of them.
Oh, they're here.
They're running murders, huh?
Birds don't scare me, but they are different. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, they're dinosaurs.
Yeah.
They're dinosaurs.
One time we were hiking our
Yeah.
dog Cowboy, and on the trail there was like, I swear to God, 100 crows.
He's
not in
not
the trees.
exaggerating.
They were just like on the trail, like chill, like having a little hangout,
And
like
we had
walking
to
the
walk
road.
through them.
And they were like,
Murder.
"You're not getting past us." They were just like having
It
a
was
powwow, and it was so weird.
was
It was
so
like the
weird.
birds, and we just like they slowly like parted and let us like calmly
they
walk through them. It was bizarre. Like they didn't fly away. They were just like, yeah, don't.
Well,
don't
because
get
they
too
know
close.
there was like 100 of them. They could take
They're
that.
like, this is our trail,
Yeah.
and like you shall not pass.
Didn't even have a big white beard.
Yeah.
I think when I really first realized I was afraid of a bird was when I started working for my uncle and I got down there to the fucking macaws, the like 1.5 tall parrots. Because like I would watch them bend down and like take a bite out of like a 2x4, and then I would have to like get in the cage with them, and I'm like, that's if they get my arm, I'm fucked. But you can kind of like, if you put a cheat code to like shutting down a bird is if you put a towel over their head, they're done. That's it. They're checking out. They can't do anything. You're good then. So that was how we disarmed the massive parrots, because they're really like, we didn't tame these birds because then they don't reproduce right. So they're very wild. So you have to, take some kind of precaution. So the towel really saves your ass. Just if you ever find yourself in a situation where there's a massive bird, you need
We're
to
in a bird apocalypse, and it's like
bring
the
a towel.
But with
Yeah.
crows.
They have great towel.
As long as you have a towel, you will survive.
So where did I'm gonna hard right turn here to
We've
there's
gone
a
off
moment there's a moment where we go into full blown fantasy, I think, in Sour Party.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, where did farting color come from? That's such a fucking bizarre, like, out there, and it's so specific. It's not like most bizarre ideas are very broad. This is dialed in. So I gotta know the origin of this.
It came to us in a lucid dream.
Yeah. It was during COVID, and I had seen this video of these two girls, but it was so funny. And she put powder in her butt, and they were doing like the codes, like, oh, now we're code purple, we're code
The
red.
Poof. They do it in Jackass. It's the Poof.
Oh my God.
Code purple, and she farted, and like it was kind of a fail. Like the tiniest little Poof came out, and then they both like couldn't get through the rest of their like speech, and it was so funny. And I was like, oh my God, this has to, like, people need to see this. Like, this is brilliant.
Yeah, how do we take it up a notch?
How do we take it up a notch? It's so brilliant. It made me, I like watched it like 100 times. I sent it to everyone. I thought it was the funniest fucking thing. And then when we got to the Deb scene, which is the
magical scene.
The
which
magical scene.
I guess we won't spoil
the
it.
magical. Oh.
Yeah, I said too much already, probably.
But that was
a scene that we fought for, that like not a lot of people wanted that scene to go
Yeah.
through, and they did not like it. Yeah, Sammy didn't like it. Our DP didn't like it.
Including Cecily, the woman who played
the actress that played it didn't like it at
When
first.
we sent it to her, she was like, okay, I'll read this tonight. She called us the next day. She was like, when I read it, I said, no, I don't like this. And I went to sleep. And I woke up the next morning and I have to play this role. And it really, we knew it had to be in there.
Yeah.
We knew it was the thing to like make it make it weirder and make it just this.
It wasn't even premeditated. Like
it wasn't.
We were having writer's block. We were stuck on that scene. We're like,
we didn't know how it was going to end.
We know they're going to get to like a Creep Peeps person and like something bad's going to happen. And I was like, let me just like, I just kind of like, it just it came to me, like it was teleported to me from like, you know, the Galactic Center. I just started writing and then I looked at it and I was like, I don't know how I did this. And I don't think this is it.
Well, he was like, read it to the end.
But I'm like, maybe this will spark something.
It. Maybe this will get you like thinking. And then I read it and not one word was changed. And I said, this is it. This is perfect.
Hell yeah.
And it makes it so that every single joke in Sour Party has a callback. And so it is our callback to the Creep Peeps moment, and it just makes everything very cohesive.
Yeah. We love a magical element.
Yeah, I love that it came from somebody literally putting powder on their asshole and farting.
I died when I first saw it.
Yeah, because like I said, in Jackass, Johnny Knoxville chases that effect for like 3 movies before they finally get it to happen.
Oh, really? I've never seen that.
Yeah, he tries to. Oh my God. They put powder on Preston's ass and a few different people's ass and try to have him fart, and he's like, "Did it go poof?" And it never goes poof until like the third movie where they attempt it.
You need fog machines.
That I remember.
I've never seen this. This is hilarious.
It's crazy.
It's a real great saga, and I'm glad that's what we should do. Yeah, the
Evan is a Jackass historian. If y'all didn't know.
So it's 2.5 where they get it, apparently. Oh, why is it coming out of that speaker? That's fucked up.
We don't need video. I don't.
Oh, you got? Yeah, you do.
Yeah, nobody needs to see that.
I mean, you gotta have video, and we're gonna have to censor it for the YouTube, but you gotta have video. Well, it's on YouTube. Maybe we don't.
It's
Oh my God.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
Is this the whole journey?
All right.
No, it's like 90 seconds.
Yeah, but here, baby.
In the words of Gwen, is this really happening right now?
I think this is where they get
baby needs a lot of powder. It's really wet back there. Okay, this is completely between bros. This is for the bit. I just gotta spread them a little. Okay. Okay, wait. Let it die down. Not yet. No, let it die down.
Oh God.
Okay.
Oh no, this is where. Okay, no.
I actually appreciate it. We're having a good day. We don't need.
I'm a shit. Seriously.
Okay.
No, that's not the goal.
He shit.
Okay,
This is the one where he shits.
You're fired.
We're moving on.
No, it's done.
So,
it's done. He shit himself. He doesn't poop that time.
That
was not.
She was like,
Oh my God.
Sammy?
We did lose Sammy.
She didn't want to see that fart shit. Why you pull that up? Come on now.
I'm here.
She did not want to see no boo-boo. Come on.
Oh my God.
I'm here.
No, that's
Can you
not
see
the time
me?
where they. So that's not the time where they successfully do it. Wee Man shits himself that time and they fail. But there is a time where they get it to happen. I believe it's Jackass 3 where they finally achieve the poof. But I'm gonna be honest, they don't achieve the poof on the level that you guys achieve. You guys have 4th of July smoke bomb level poof going on.
It's not real. We weren't part of it.
Right.
Don't ruin Evan. He thought it was real. Don't break his heart.
Yeah, he thinks it's real. He likes fart shit. But so y'all got any other
Let's
behind
not
the
get ahead of
scenes
ourselves.
stuff on Sour Party? What's some little tidbits y'all can share? Some little sneak peeks that other people don't know.
Sneak peek.
Yeah, we like sneak peeks over here. What y'all got going on? What's some
Like
fun
what?
stuff
What do you
you can share?
Like about the movie or about like behind the scenes?
Yeah,
or...
both. Either or.
Oh man, I mean, there's so many funny stories. I guess.
Yeah, seriously.
You tell something you've never told.
Wow.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We have told it
I think
all.
we've told it all.
Oh,
Have
you
you?
did?
We've shared it all.
We've been.
But we can tell you what's one that we haven't talked about that much.
Well, how did y'all get stuck with Evan at Chattanooga? Like,
Yeah,
how'd you end up
there you
paired with the
go.
poof guy?
Question. It's a good question. It's lost.
He stopped
Because you know me, Russell. I force myself.
Hey,
on
There we go.
Sammy.
Welcome back.
Hi, I got
Right
this.
choice.
Yeah.
You made the right choice.
You did, girl. I get it. 1000%.
But I was
No,
there.
period.
I saw it.
She
I
was
saw
like,
it. I saw it.
Oh, shit.
I didn't want to see it, but I saw it.
Okay, how'd y'all meet this crazy fool?
Meet This Crazy Fool.
Oh, welcome back.
Oh, she's back. Good.
She's back. Okay.
I'm
was
here.
That, please tell me that was intentional.
No, I got a phone call. It disconnected me.
She was familiar with the Poof already, so I felt like she had seen him
no,
shitting
but
himself
I
before.
was there. Maybe it seemed like I wasn't in the room, but I was there, and I was.
Okay.
You
all
saw
kinds
it?
of. I saw it. Oh yeah, no, I was.
We thought you were like, I can't hang with this.
I thought you were just like, absolutely not.
And we were like, I
there.
wish we had the courage.
No, I saw it.
All right.
It was at Chattanooga Film Festival. We were at a whiskey distillery. Everybody was drunk.
Ooh, whiskey.
I don't remember exactly the moment.
Yeah.
But
I don't remember the exact moment, honestly, either. That weekend is a bit of a blur. They gave us all a bottle of whiskey that we could not bring back through security, so we had no choice but to consume it. So, we did.
Was it right before we got on the bus to go to that? I think that we were like all
you gave me
around.
a sticker.
Yes.
This sticker on the bus.
Yes.
You got one. Those are covered. There's not many left.
It's on my clipboard that I use for everything. And then I got separated from y'all on the whiskey distillery trip. Y'all, I think actually it turns out y'all got the lamer distillery trip because it was super hot and you didn't get fed alcohol like we did at the end of it. And because we got left. So we were at the pinball place and we were just, I guess me and Juan was the guy's name. We were really locked into the pinball that we were playing and we didn't realize that the bus left. So we were like, oh, we'll just Uber there. And we went, apparently there's 2 locations there. We went to the wrong one. So we were like, fuck it. Can we use these things here and just do a thing? Because we're going to miss them, at this point. And they're like, yeah, sure. So we did our own whiskey distillery tour of the micro one. And then they gave us 7 shots at the end of it or something like that. And
I love that you took a risk. And you're like, we met him at the distillery.
I was on that trip though, to be fair. I sat
here and be so confident.
I was just speaking.
We did
the vibe of the weekend that it was not top shots flowing, and so
we did shots of Patron on the school bus together. We were feet apart, Yeah,
maybe you were there.
We shared a
yeah.
It was epic.
Maybe you were late night with us at that sausage.
I was that too. We were on the boat together. There was a lot of interactions, but I'm pretty sure all of them were very lubricated by alcohol.
I mean, just major shout out to the Chattanooga Film Festival. It is such a special place.
It was super fun.
They believed in our movie, and it was just still to this day, probably our favorite screening was that premiere screening.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I met a ton of cool fucking people at that, including y'all, so I'm forever grateful for sure for all the people that it brought into my life. But yeah, I appreciate you guys, taking the time to come and hang out with us and talk about Sour Party and,
I Wattsville.
Yeah, exactly. And watch Wee Man shit on himself, even though we did get kind of the we got the PG-13 version because of YouTube. But
thank God.
Not too much.
We didn't want to see that. But before y'all go, this has been great. I'm glad y'all came and chat with our crazy asses. So I hope y'all had fun. But before you guys go, if you guys want to plug anything, any socials, or anything that you guys have coming up before so people can follow and get updates on everything.
Definitely follow Sour Party Movie on Instagram. That's the big one. We don't know exactly when the release is happening now. This news may put some different spins on things, so we will see, but stay tuned there for all the information. You can follow our production company at Artless_ENT, or just artlessentertainment.com for news about us.
Yeah, your website's clean. I went and checked out your website actually, and I like the design. It's good.
Thank you.
And then
I'm excited for that shop that's coming soon. I want to see what you sell.
You cut it off.
It's the delay. It's like me and you, Terrell. It's the delay. It's the same thing. It's like you're not talking yet on my end when I start, and then we collide in the middle.
Well, all I was gonna say is that you can follow me at Lil Big Gulp. That's LILBIGGULP. And I'll share news about the movie there as well.
Hey.
Well, yeah. All those links, y'all, too. Check the description. It'll all be there. And remember to clean your hot tubs and your dicks, too. That would be a better place.
That's right. And then the world will be that much closer to equality.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank y'all again for coming and hanging out.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I love you all.
Sorry, Russ.
No, it's just we started with Coppola, and Soderbergh, and then we end up talking
ended
about
on
the
Jackass.
Poof. And yeah, I love y'all. Y'all troopers for hanging out.
Thanks for listening to Footage Foreplay. If you enjoy the show, please consider leaving a review, sharing it with a friend, or simply hitting like. These small gestures are a great free way to support this mayhem, and if you find some footage we should be fondling, email us at footageforeplay@gmail.com. Check back every Tuesday and Thursday for new episodes, and remember, don't skip the foreplay.